All right, I think I'm right. Oh, okay. I was like, what? What is going on, everybody? What is happening? What's going on? It's your boy, Big Q, back once again. Because you know what? Today's Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. And y'all know how we do on Wednesday. It's a little bit different this week, though. A little bit different this week. Instead of going audio route, which I love, don't get it twisted. I love the audio route. Uh, I wanted to do something a little special because For whatever reason, I've been talking about this for weeks, talking about the Team Boyd TV apparel that we have set up on teamboydtv.com/shop, where you can get yourself cool little black and blue podcast shirts. You can get yourself cool little Team Boyd TV live shirts, cool little Team Boyd TV game time shirts, and cool little Team Boyd TV pink shirts. But here's the thing. I ordered some shirts because I wanted to actually rock the Black and Blue podcast shirt on tonight's podcast. It was going to be special because this is a special Black and Blue podcast. This Black and Blue podcast, sadly, I know, fellas, I know this is going to be the last one for at least 8 weeks, man. And I really have been enjoying myself for these last 15. This is week 15. This is episode number 15. So yeah, for the 15 weeks straight, man, you guys have been showing me all kind of love. I've been appreciating it. And it's been fun hanging out with you guys, man, and talking about Panthers football. And then I had a bunch of guests on, man, and you guys been sending me a bunch of emails, and y'all guys been donating to the Team Boyd TV project. Y'all guys been ordering the merchandise. Y'all guys been subscribing to the channel. Y'all guys been following me on Twitter. These last 3.5 months of doing this, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about you guys. One of the things I learned about myself is that a lot of people, a lot of people were telling me, we enjoy what you do on Team Boyd TV. We think this cool, you, Glass, JB, Vernie, and it's awesome, but you're trying to do too much, man. You putting too much on your plate. You're talking about doing a podcast now. You already was doing 2 live shows last season. You're adding a 3rd show, and to the average person, it seems like a lot. But I'm Big Q. You know what I'm saying? I'm Big Q. And, it is a lot. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna sit up here in front like, I'm a Superman and nothing like that. It is a lot, but, this is what I tell people all the time. I absolutely love Team Boyd TV. This is my passion. This is what I like to do every week. I wish I could do this all the time. You know what I mean? I wish this was the only thing that I had to do, because I love chopping it up with you guys. I love talking about Team Boyd TV and NFL, and I absolutely love talking about the Carolina Panthers, man. So this whole, like, I'm kind of trying to get myself together, because I'm trying to get emotional, and I realize that this is the last Black and Blue podcast for a minute. It's gonna be quite a while, for at least 2 months until the regular season starts. And it's sad. It's a sad day. But it is what it is. But you know what? Fret not, people. You know what I mean? Fret not. Just because the Black and Blue podcast is gonna be going away for 8 weeks. Big Q got your back. Big Q got you. You know what I'm saying? Big Q understands how much you guys love Team Boyd TV. Big Q understands that. Don't get it twisted. I know that you guys like what we do. So listen, just because the Black and Blue podcast is taking a little break until the regular season starts, don't mean that you won't see this beautiful face, plus my cohorts, JB and Glass, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, we will be kicking off the season premiere of Team Boyd, season 2 premiere of Team Boyd TV Live. I'm so excited. I put up the new intro that I worked 13 hours yesterday on my day off. I worked 13 hours on this intro. I put everything I had into it. I love it. I've watched it about six or seven times myself already. I think it actually embodies and it captures what Team Boyd TV Live is all about. From everything from the music to the visuals. I hope you guys like it. If you haven't seen it yet, go over to Team Boyd TV, or go youtube.com/Team Boyd TV Turbo. Check it out. It is awesome. I think it's awesome. Maybe because I think it's awesome because I made it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But either way, I think it actually sets the type of mood that I want to set, and the temperature that I want to set for Team Boyd TV Live. I like it. I think it came together really nicely. And I can't wait, man, in 2 weeks. So that gives me like 1 week off, right? So I'm doing the last Black and Blue podcast today, and I made it special for you guys because I made it a video. You know what I mean? Like normally, I do the Black and Blue podcast over on Spreaker, which I love, and it's awesome doing it that way. But, I said, you know what? on the last episode, I'm gonna give them a video podcast just because I can do it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so it's been cool. Again, everybody who has subscribed to the channel since the inception of the Black and Blue podcast, um, thank you. Everybody who has donated to the Team Boyd TV project via the donate button on TeamBoydTV.com or on the YouTube channel page. Again, I thank you. Thank you guys for supporting what we're doing over here. And if you guys don't want to make a monetary donation to the project, you don't have to. I mean, it's a cool thing if you do, and for the ones who did, I definitely appreciate it, but you don't have to do it. Other ways you can support the Team Boyd TV project, like for example, you're sitting here watching this podcast right now. What you could do is you can smash that like button. Just go ahead. It's right there. You see it. Just smash that like button. Just hit it. You hit it, and then you hit it, and then you hit it, and then everybody just hit that like button. You can do that. The other thing you can do is you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you know some people who ain't subscribed to Team Boyd TV Turbo, let them know what we got going on over here, and you be doing your duty and helping support the Team Boyd TV project. The other thing you can do is you can follow me on Twitter, man. I'm a funny dude. I like to tweet. It's gravy. I like it. So that's what you guys can do to help support what we're doing over here, and again, we appreciate everything that you guys have done so far. So let's get into the show, man. When I was digging through my stuff today, putting the show together, because again, I was feeling a certain kind of way because I knew this was going to be the last show for a while, and I'm gonna kind of miss doing this for a little bit, and I'm still trying to figure out other things, and where I'm going to put this in on the schedule, and I'll listen to that in the third because Team Boyd TV Live in 2 weeks will be in this time slot right here. But I was putting together some stuff, and I found a couple things that I thought were very interesting, some things that I did not want to revisit because we're facing good times as Carolina Panthers right now. Cam showed up on the last day of mini camp and practiced a little bit, all that cool stuff, and I got a chance to meet Kevin Benjamin, and that was awesome, and and mini camp went well. All the rookies are doing well. And then I see this on ESPN.com, and actually this was posted yesterday, and it was revisiting the Greg Hardy situation. And I guess so like I do my due diligence since I'm a Carolina Panthers podcaster, I must do this. So let's get right into it. So the story is written by Mr. Vaughn McClure for ESPN NFL, right? And this is what he says. Carolina Panthers defensive end Greg Hardy, who faces assault charges stemming from a fight with his girlfriend, is scheduled to appear in court July 15th. His attorney confirmed to ESPN.com on Tuesday. Hardy originally scheduled to appear in court on misdemeanor charges Friday. However, attorney Chris Falco said a crowded docket of cases is the reason the date was pushed back. The Panthers are set to open training camp on July 25th. Hardy, 25, was charged with assault and threats against Nicole Holder, a 24-year-old woman he had been involved with since September. He was arrested immediately after May 13th incident and was released on a $17,000 bond in order to stay away from Holder. Holder, who has been subpoenaed to appear in court on July 15th as well. Hardy rejoined his teammates for organized team activity 6 days after the arrest. The team's sack leader in 2013 with 15 was ordered to attend 3 Alcoholics Anonymous classes a week and turn over all firearms and weapons. He turned in an assortment of semi-automatic weapons and shotguns in the process. Hardy has been accused of throwing Holder into a tile tub, choking her, and throwing her onto a couch, quote-unquote, covered in assault rifles and or shotguns, according to the arrest warrant. Holder also said in the warrant that her short-lived relationship with rapper Nelly led to Hardy's aggression. Now, with all that being said, we all know the story. You know what I'm saying? We all know the story. This is nothing new. This has been going on. It's been for a while. We know what's going on with this. But what I thought was interesting about this, and I hate that they keep digging up stuff. And I said this in the podcast last week, is that this is the time of the offseason that I really do not like because everybody is just looking for reasons to, make some story and this kind of thing, and it gets a little it gets a little annoying every once in a while, and I talked about it last week, so I'm not gonna get too much into it here this week. But what I thought was interesting about this, in the comment section, right below the story, we had a couple people commenting on the case, and this is where I want you guys to chime in at. If you are on you checking us out on YouTube, you can make a comment in the YouTube channel box right there. If you are joining us on TeamBoydTV.com, where we have the really cool advanced chat room right there. You can kind of, and I'm saying I can chat with you right there. But anyway, I need you guys to let me know how y'all feel about these comments that I read. Now, I'm saying they're not bad. I mean, they just I just want to know how you guys feel. One guy, Christopher 87, He's a pro shop manager at Paintball Explosion. You know what I'm saying? He says this: so sick of seeing these one-sided quote unquote news articles, leaving all the facts like who called 911, where they were, the info in the call. Says Hardy was being attacked and having things thrown at him and asked for help to get her out of his house, and that he had to have people get between them to stop her from attacking him. But because he's a male football player, um, obviously he did something wrong. We got Twitter going on right now, and I got my boy, the Voice 25. Voice, I didn't even know you was watching. I didn't even know you was watching. Voice says all the Hardy claims are BS. And you know what? I believe that too, because but here's the thing. This is what I think is so interesting about this, right? Because people are saying all kind of stuff, and and I've seen it all. I've seen it all from um, he's a man. He could easily have defended himself against the woman if the claims that he said were true. She's a little tiny woman. He's a big ass dude. He could have easily just, pushed out the house, or he could have just left. I mean, that's another thing. Another thing that people have been saying is that, he could have just left. And I say it's his house. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody gonna be getting up out of here, it's gonna be you. You gonna be leaving. You know what I mean? And so this other guy responded, Billy Grant. He says, DA is trying to make a name for his or herself. I know people will think I'm biased because I'm a Panthers fan, but what this really comes down to is social standards. Women can act crazy and attack, and we could just sit there and take it. When the police get there, we'll always be the ones arrested, and whatever crazy story they come up with will be treated like actual evidence until it hits the courtroom. We saw it with Kobe. We saw it with Cap a little while ago, and the same thing will happen to Hardy. That's what this dude said. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of them weird things, man. And let me tell you what makes me so sick about this story. What makes me so sick about this story is that it's a stupid story. You know what I mean? Dude got into a little confrontation with his old lady. It happens. I guess you can say, well, he's a professional athlete, somewhat professional type guy. So it's kind of a big deal, but it's really not. You know what I mean? People, they go through this kind of stuff all day long and every day. And I'm gonna tell you what really, 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 really gets on my nerves. Like, and I was talking about it last week on the podcast, how some of these writers for these websites and stuff tried to make this seem like it's going to be some type of distraction or issue for the Carolina Panthers going forward this season. A domestic abuse charge, which ain't even really can be. I mean, ain't I don't even know what to say about this. I got so upset about it last week when I was talking about it that I just don't get it. I don't understand how something so small like this can be considered a distraction or whatever they was trying to say. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just thought it was they just looking for something to write. That's what I think. You know what I mean? And so that was that. You know what I'm saying? And the other news, and I talked about it for a second. Talked about it for a hot second. I was reading this story on NFL.com. It was talking about how the outlook for the Carolina Panthers is completely different than what it was. Say when it was in February. When did free agency start? I can't remember. Was it February or March? I think it was in March. Was it in March? I think it was in March. So yeah, back then, we were all feeling however we were feeling at that particular time. And now everybody is like all pumped up, and for good reason, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, plenty of times, and, I've talked about this with all the guests that I've had on the show thus far. This is one of them things where it was like a shock, you know what I mean? In the beginning, you know what I mean? It was like a little bit of a shock, and people didn't quite know how to handle it, especially the fact that this team went on this miraculous 12-4 run that nobody, not, I'm saying nobody but a few select people kind of saw coming. And I can say for people like myself, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of credit because and you guys don't believe me, go back and check last season around this time when we were doing the offseason divisional breakdowns and stuff. Big Q said that the Carolina Panthers was going to win 10 games. Me and the Voice 2525 were on the podcast. We talked about this. So some people, it was a few people, we kind of knew that something special was happening. For everybody else, about the other 94% of the country just thought that the Panthers would just, it wasn't nothing really going to happen. But here we are now, late June, getting ready to go into July. And now everybody's mind done changed a little bit because, most people couldn't see past. And, and my boy Panther Nasty, who was on the show just last week, brought this up. And you know what? When he was saying this, and I said this before, like he said things that a lot of Panthers fans were already thinking, but what nobody's saying. And then he was saying things that kind of rebut everything that all our divisional rivals have been talking about. Most people were paying attention to the names. The Ted Gins, the Dominic Hicksons, the Steve Smiths, the Jordan Grosses. We were talking about stuff like that versus what was really, really going on. You know what I mean? And, after talking to this guy, my man Panther Nasty, it just made everything seem, basically he reaffirmed everything I was feeling anyway. You know what I mean? When people were laughing at me because I was saying what I was saying about my team, making me make me feel like I was crazy or something. You know what I mean? But I also there's other Panther fans who feel just like I do. My boy Panther Nasty, my boy Voice 2525. We all in agreement when we say, hey, listen, y'all guys can laugh about all the wide receivers that left, Jordan Gross and all these new people we got, and they quote unquote old receivers and whatever. Y'all just don't know. y'all have no idea what's getting ready to come. But anyway, back to the story. It says ankle surgery limited to what Cam Newton could physically do this spring, but it put no such constraints on the progress the Carolina Panthers quarterback could make mentally. And with 10 weeks of all-season work now in the books, what head coach Ron Rivera sees is a 25-year-old who's growing up. Soon, Newton will be ready to display that growth on the practice field more so than he did in limited work last week. Eventually, the idea is for it to show up on Sundays in the fall. And that's what Ron Rivera said. He said, over the last 10 weeks, we're seeing Cam maturing and doing things in other ways to contribute and improve, Rivera said as he headed out to the final practice of the spring last Thursday. It got to the point where Cam was installing things. He led the meetings. He was sitting with the receivers, the tight ends, and helping them, not just standing next to offensive coordinator Mike Shula. You see stuff now that you didn't see before. Now, for that, that's one thing that a lot of these people, a lot of these Bucs fans who are super loud and obnoxious right now, coming out of the woodworks, as far as I was concerned, I didn't even think there was only a couple Buck fans on the planet. I grew up with a dude, back in the day, who was a real big Bucks fan and whatnot. He still is to this day. And then there's one little dude on YouTube that's out there that was a known Bucks fan. But now new dudes popping up all over the place. You know what I mean? I think a couple weeks ago, one dude showed up out of the blue, and then I think I saw on YouTube today or yesterday that another guy done popped. Where you guys been? And then all of a sudden, did you all of a sudden decide, we're gonna root for the Bucks? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're gonna do. I don't know, but those guys are very loud right now. And and me and the Voice, we talked about this on the podcast previously about they got every reason to feel good about going into this season. And you know what? I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them, but they don't know what's coming. You know what I mean? And then you got the Falcons fans they have been very, very vocal this offseason. I mean, they've been more vocal this offseason than they've been in the last two seasons combined. And it's been hilarious to watch because they are super serious. You know what I mean? They are so serious about what they think and what they feel. It's hard to argue with them. And so you know what? I refrained from it because it just you know what I mean? It was like there's really no need to do it. You know what I mean? It really, this is the Atlanta Falcons we talk about. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I ain't about to get into this whole, my team better than yours situation. You know what? I'm not gonna do that because that's not what I do. But I just think it's like it's been super hilarious watching this over the last couple months. During the offseason. This has been a really, really good, busy offseason. It's been so busy that I haven't really had time to do nothing because I've been like, you know what, locked in on this whole thing. I got a feeling that you TTC guys, y'all gonna give me some good entertainment this season, and I'm waiting on it. It should be good. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's gonna be dope. Especially the way y'all talking right now, it should be pretty good. I just can't wait till the end of the season. A lot of people who've been beating their chest and talking all loud and being all, obnoxious and whatnot. I wonder where they're going to be at by week 8. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see because I ain't going there. You know what I'm saying? I'll go back to my story. It says, that's the truth of the matter here. What franchise quarterback can you look at and say that's not really his team? Rivera said. That's the thing. It's not like he needs to lead off 52 guys all the time. We've got Luke Kuechly on the other side of the ball. We got Ryan Khalil. We got Thomas Davis. We have a plethora of tremendous leaders. but sure, that's what we're looking for. It should be his team. You know what I'm saying? And and that's another thing. And I actually questioned this myself on the podcast before. I think I was on the podcast with. I want to say it was I want to say it was a voice. It might have been a voice. It could have been. It could have been the Team Boy TV crew. I'm not sure. But I know. We talked about this. Was Cam ready to lead this team? And according to everything that the coach is saying right here, and everything else that I'm reading, I've been seeing, Cam is ready to take that next step. We all saw what he did last season. We saw it. It's no secret. Cam Newton is the man. You know what I'm saying? And whoever think that he's not the man, I'm just saying. I don't know what you're watching. Cam Newton is the man. You know what I mean? You got Colin Kaepernick running around here, showing up at, you know what? Y'all trying to get me caught up. Y'all trying to get me to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going back to the story. Here we go. It says, I think it's great when a guy can manage a game, Rivera said, but there comes a point where you have to make a play. He does that. He made some great plays. He had some teammates make great catches, great runs, but he's the trigger guy. That's part of his growth. The one thing you don't ever want to do is put it all on one guy. That becomes hard. We want him to sense it. It's time to make a play. And Cam, we know you can do it. Everybody in Panther Nation know that you can take this and you can make this into something special. You're the key. Cam Newton is the key. Now everybody want to talk about, and as much as I love Steve Smith, don't get it twisted. Steve Smith, I will always and forever be a huge, ginormous Steve Smith fan. But we're moving on. You know what I'm saying? Steve Smith has moved on, and so yeah, that's right, voice. I feel you. He says they will be MIA. Let them know we the kings of the site. Yes, absolutely. We have the title. You know what I'm saying? We do. But no. Everybody want to talk about Steve Smith and Ted Ginn and LaFell and all of them people. You know what I mean? It ain't like Cam left. If Cam had left, and this is me being really serious, right? I know I joke a lot, and I laugh about everything, but I'm gonna be serious for a minute. If it had been Cam that left, one person, if Cam had been the one to leave, and we had Ginn and LaFell and Hickson and who am I forgetting, Smitty and Jordan Cross hadn't retired, and everything was the same, everything that was the same as it was last season, but Cam had left, everything that you guys are saying right now, I would absolutely believe it. But that ain't the case. That ain't what happened. And that just goes to show that those guys wasn't really major players. I ain't dissing them or nothing, because I cheered for these guys last season. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that it wasn't just them. You know what I mean? Everybody played. The defense played. We keep on forgetting about Greg Hardy and Charles Johnson and all these guys, and we forget about Robert Lester, and we forget about Greg Olson, and we forget about Mike Tolbert and John. Everybody forget about this kind of stuff. It wasn't just Ted Ginn, Steve Smith, Dominic Hickson, and Brandon LaFette. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So for all the guys who are keeping on, want to bring that up, I'm just saying, one monkey don't stop the show. You know what I'm saying? We are. I think Carolina's stronger than ever. I think they are stronger than ever going forward, and that's all. And that's all good. So to end the piece right here, it says, and a good piece will come by necessity. The same way the Packers leaned on Aaron Rodgers during the portions of the 2013 season to make up for the defection of Greg Jennings, and the same way the Patriots asked more of Tom Brady with Wes Welker and Aaron Hernandez suddenly out of the picture. The Panthers now need Newton to help keep off the field losses from costing the team on-field wins, and I 100% agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, I get caught up in this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm gonna miss doing the Black and Blue podcast for a while. But like I said, it will be back. It'll be back as soon as the season kicks off. The Black and Blue podcast will be back in full effect. Whew, y'all got me worked up. Y'all got me worked up. I'm trying to tell you, y'all got me all the way worked up. But you know what? I gotta pay homage to my sponsors, man. The people who kept the Black and Blue podcast afloat for 3.5 months, man. I gotta give props to domain.com. And I think thanks to the people who went and checked out my sponsor and went and saw what they had to offer, because we at TeamBoydTV we use domain.com for our web hosting and all that cool stuff, and I like it. So yeah, we're gonna pay a little visit to our sponsor when we come back. I'm gonna get into these emails, and I figure like what way to end the off-season Black and Blue podcast. And I'm gonna go because you guys enjoyed those emails last time. We're gonna get into that stuff after we visit our sponsors. So I'll be right back. we're back. So, we had to do that, and I'm just saying. So, like, I wanted to get into these emails because, like, I had a crop of emails come through over the last couple weeks, and I kept on saying, "Hey, I'm gonna read you guys' emails. I'm gonna read you guys' emails," but I kept getting sidetracked because I kept having these awesome guests on the show. You know what I'm saying? I want look. Let me before I get into these emails, I got to do this. I have to. I got to thank everybody who stopped through the Black and Blue podcast and chatted with me, chopped it up with me, talked Panther football with me. I want to give a big shout out to my man, the Voice 2525. Our conversation was awesome. I think that podcast was like one of my favorite ones. And then I gotta give props to my boys. I gotta give props to my boys because they came through and we set it off. We did it only Team Boyd TV can. I want to give a shout out to the cast of Team Boyd TV Live, my brother JB and my boy Glass from Gateway to Sports. They came through, man, and we had a ball. It was awesome. I also want to give a shout out to my other homies, man. I want to give a shout out to my boys, Carolina Cat Chronicles. These dudes, man, I've watched them grow from last season to where they at now. It is amazing the growth that I'm seeing and what they're doing. I support them. I suggest you guys, if you guys haven't checked out Carolina Cat Chronicles with my boy Joey Riolano and Anthony Dunn, you need to do that. Those are my dudes, man. And we had a blast when they came on the show as well. It was fantastic, and last but not least, man, the last guest that I had on the show was my boy Panther Nasty, man. Woo, man, that conversation that we had, that thing got serious. You know what I mean? That thing got serious. If you guys, I'm telling you, anybody out there who happened to be watching this Black and Blue podcast, who happened to be and I'm gonna use my boy Glasses air quotes here, non-Panther fans, check out the Black and Blue podcast episode number 14. Guarantee you, it'll change the way you think about your team. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, hey, look, my boy Danny is in the building. What's going on, Danny? My boy Danny's in the building. Hey, thanks for checking me out, bro. I appreciate it. Let's get into these emails though, because these emails were great. I enjoy reading you guys' emails, man. You guys can send me emails anytime, even though that the Black and Blue podcast is taking an 8-week hiatus. You guys can still send your emails to blackandbluepodcast@teamboydtv.com, and maybe I get to them when we kick back up. But let's get into it. First one comes from Victor D from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, what's going on, homie? I'm in Charlotte too. It's all great. It says here, yo, what up, Big Q? I just wanted to let you know that I love the podcast and to keep doing what you're doing. I also wanted to get your take on how you feel that Bank of America Stadium is coming along. I heard you mention that you drive by there on a daily basis. What do you think so far? Hey, listen, man. Victor, you know what I'm saying? You live in Charlotte too. You don't go by. Well, you must live like on the outskirts. You must live like near that Concord area or something like that. But nah, the stadium is beautiful. You know what I mean? I cannot wait to get there. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see exactly how many games I'm going to be able to make it to this season. I'm hoping that I can get to at least 2 or 3 of them. You know what I mean? With one of them being that Sunday nighter, I want to get to that one. You know what I'm saying? Not the Sunday night. No, get a Sunday night game. That's right. And yeah, I want to get to that one. But the stadium's beautiful. The ginormous boards all over the place. It looks fantastic. You know what I mean? Like I feel like now, the Carolina when the TV cameras come to Charlotte and we show our games on TV, it'll look a little bit like everybody else's. You know what I mean? I for whatever reason, I mean, even though I always thought Bank of America Stadium was beautiful, I just think now with these new enhancements, the stadium just looks a whole lot better. Oh, this is a guy right here. He emailed me one time before. Proud Squad 95. He says, hello, Big Q. Your podcast last week was awesome. Your guest, Panther Nasty, said so many things that a lot of us Panther fans were thinking. I just said that. I thought it was amazing how everything he said made logical sense. How can 2 divisional foes laugh at the fact that we have their defensive secondary players? These guys have practiced against and played against these rivals on a regular basis. It just makes no sense how Saints and Falcon fans could laugh about something like that. Thanks for your time. The podcast is awesome. Keep pounding, and you keep pounding too, Proud Squad. Exactly. When me and Panther Nasty was talking about this, we laughed about it because these are the very ones. These are the ones. Saints fans, Falcons fans talking about crazy stuff when we have Thomas Dakoud and Roman Harper. We have these guys, so these guys know everything that you're gonna do. I mean, look, I ain't gonna get into it. That's something that we're gonna handle on Team Boy TV Live here in a couple weeks, because I can't really do that kind of stuff here. I can't really talk about what I think gonna happen because it won't be fair to the fellas. But you know what I mean? Seriously though, they laugh. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand that either. That kind of puzzles me. I'm gonna tell you what else puzzles me while we're talking about it. How certain people can get on YouTube and say outlandish, crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And not even do the due diligence and read up and just think about what they say before they put it on the internet. It's weird to me. Oh, we the Atlanta Falcons, we didn't win but 4 games last season, and you guys have our cornerback, but we're going to whoop y'all's ass. Really? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? What up, Cali Blue? What's happening, bro? You doing all right, cuz? I'm glad you're here, man. You know what I mean? So let's move on, man. Let's move on. So this one right here, Susan M. From Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've never been to Fayetteville. I hear good things about it. I think it's an army town, right? Yeah, I've never been to Fayetteville before, but I heard it was beautiful. She says, "Hello, Big Q. One of the things that I love about this particular podcast is how real you are. I think it's absolutely entertaining how riled up you get about certain things. On the podcast with your crew from Team Boy TV, I laughed my ass off when you were talking about how the Detroit Lions were going to get beaten by every team in the NFC South. You are hilarious, and your team is also. You guys have an awesome chemistry together, and I cannot wait for the season premiere in a few weeks." We can't wait either. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, if JB and Glass were here right now and they read this, they would be telling you thank you, just like I'm telling you thank you. We've only been together doing this for about a year. You know what I mean? I think we had last season was our first. It was an experiment. Was something we were trying, and it just worked. And and we have a lot of fun doing it. And I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And that's why I've been pumped about this, and I've been talking about it for months. You guys know. I've been talking about this for months. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of thing. So yeah, man, it's we was talking about the Detroit Lions. Those dudes. And that's why I like chopping it up with them, because JB, everybody know he's the proudest Ravens fan I've ever seen in my life. And Glass and his Denver Broncos, which I ain't even gonna give them no more credit on this show. But yeah, you know what I mean? We get along great, and and it's fun taking jabs at one another. It's what makes Team Boy TV Live. It's what makes it entertaining. You know what I mean? So we move on, and we get into. Is this the last one? This is the last one. Henry L. from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Hey, I know the Rock. I was born in the Rock. That's why I was born and raised in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's what Henry says. Henry says, "I've seen plenty of the Voice 2525's videos, and I got to tell you, he almost didn't seem like the same person when he was on the podcast. Did you defang him or something?" Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. Hold on, let me read that again. He says, "I gotta tell you, he almost didn't seem like the same person he was on the podcast. Did you defang him or something?" The Voice, you watching, right? Did you see what this is what he says? He says, "I'm just kidding. I love the Voice 2525's videos on YouTube and have been following him for a while. My question is, how did you meet him, and how long have you guys known each other? I think it's awesome that 2 of my favorite people on YouTube actually do videos and stuff together. Give a shout out to The Voice for me, and hopefully we will get to see you guys hook up again in the near future. Keep pounding." You keep pounding too, Henry L. from Rock Hill, South Carolina. And I will give you the shout out Voice. A Voice, my boy Henry L. from Rock Hill, South Carolina, he's giving you a salute. You know what I mean? So how did I run across The Voice? We talked about this on the podcast that The Voice was on with me. Somebody shared one of his videos and popped up in my feed, and I was just checking him out, and I thought the dude was funny. You know what I mean? Like, and you're right. For the people who didn't get a chance to see the episode where The Voice was on the Black and Blue podcast, go check it out, and then you'll know what my man's talking about. Because The Voice was on here, and he was almost like, and it was a podcast, it was an audio podcast, so you couldn't see him, but it was almost like he was in a suit and tie, and he was like, at a business meeting or something. You know what I'm saying? But the thing was, it was out of respect for what we do at Team Boy TV. The Voice is still The Voice, believe me. And, if you've seen the videos he's done since he's been on the podcast, He's still a voice. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we kind of do things a little bit different here. And, he got a chance to kind of unwind and relax a little bit. Didn't have to be constantly defending his turf and all that kind of stuff. So he got to chill out a little bit, and we had a lot of fun. And no, I didn't defang him. No, I would never do that to the voice. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of how I met him. One of his videos popped up on my feed. I checked him out. I reached out to him a couple times. He showed up on the on TeamBoydTV Live a couple times last summer. We've been clicking ever since then. You know what I mean? And that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, nothing but respect to the voice. I would never try to defang that dude, nothing like that. Hey, listen, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. The love that you guys have been showing the Black and Blue podcast is amazing. Every time I read these emails, man, and a lot of times, before I do the show, I don't really like to read them. I just kind of like read the first couple lines or so, and then I just stick them in my PowerPoint so I can see them. I don't read them all the way through because I want to share it with you guys. You know what I mean? So I don't read them all the way through, but trust me, I appreciate everything that you guys have done for me since I started doing this. I want to say back in March, right? March, April, May, June. So maybe it was in April. I think I may have started in April, but it's been 3.5 months, and you guys have been showing me nothing but support. I will continue to support each and every one of you guys any way I can, because I can't. I don't know how else to repay what you guys have been doing for me. Everybody who subscribed to the channel, I want to thank you. Everybody who has went and checked out the Black and Blue podcast on Spreaker, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, wherever you listen to it at, man, I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate everything. Last thing I want to say before I get out of here, man, this has been fun. I should have been doing this since the beginning. I should have been doing the video podcast since the beginning. What you guys think? You guys think I should have been doing this? Because you know what? When we come back at the beginning of the season, this is how I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that for you guys. I will put this, I will be doing this as a video and a audio podcast. So, as soon as this one get done, if you guys came in late, don't worry about it. Within the hour, it'll be up on Spreaker and iTunes and all that kind of stuff within an hour. Again, I want to give a shout out to and a thank you to everybody who stopped through the Black and Blue podcast thus far and showed me some love. The Voice 2525, Panther Nasty, JB Glass, Joey Riolano, Anthony Dunn. Listen, man, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everybody who came here to check out the Black and Blue podcast video podcast live Dilio finale. I appreciate it, man. Hey, listen, I'm getting up out of here, man. Hey, look, again, I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks when we do TeamBoydTV Live season 2 premiere. And just go ahead and throw a little teaser out there for everybody who's wondering. They're wondering which division y'all gonna do first. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. We're gonna do the same way we did it last year. We're gonna kick it off with the Glamour division, the NFC least. We're gonna talk about them first, just like we did last season. You know what I mean? And I know. I'm telling you, voice. This is real. This is the real deal. This is the stuff that people send me. They send me, man. I am not joking when I tell you this. This is the real deal. And he wanted me to make sure that he got a shout out. So I appreciate it. Again, man, I will catch all y'all in a couple weeks at season 2 premiere TeamBoydTV Live. We're gonna be doing the NFC East. Me, Glass, JB, maybe a special guest. Who knows? We'll have to work it out. We'll see. Until next time, man. I'm your boy, Big Q. This is the Black and Blue podcast, and we represent TeamBoydTV. I'll see y'all in a couple weeks, man. Peace.